welcome back to Josh Does Life. Update video on the Trigger Platinum sump. Had someone else asking a question about it, so I just kind of wanted to go over things on it. Like I mentioned before in previous videos, I love the idea behind this. I really wanted to go to the filter roller. I just think that's the better and easier way to go these days versus having to change out filter socks multiple times a week. When I had filter socks, I just changed, and I still do on the Waterbox 35. I change them out once a week, once on Fridays. Ideally, if you want to keep your nutrients lower, you need to change them out more often than that. It's just not something that I did. So I like this. So it's more hands-off, or supposed to be anyway. Issue that I have with it is basically I guess you want to call it the alignment of the rollers. So see how the filter paper or material is going over the roller and not staying straight on the roller. I currently, if you look back there, I have a little, like a piece of cardboard in one side to push the roller over this way. I've also tried to put it on this side to push it over that way, and whichever way I push it, it ends up going over the edge of the opposite side. So there's some play in there. I sent an email to Trigger about it, and they said to loosen these screws and make sure to push it in and, you know, take all the play out of it. But I did that, and it still has play in it, so it's still constantly bunching up. So what I do about it, and it's time to do it again, I just go ahead and take this off and go ahead and cut it and start it over, and it'll fold over on the inside, and I've shown a video about that, but at least it keeps it on the inside the collection roller. So I mean, it's kind of my fix for it. It's kind of it's not as hands-off as it should be due to that issue, because I do have to tinker with that to try to get it correct most of the time. I guess, you know, overall it's not a huge concern, because if you look on the filter paper itself, like where it's pulling stuff out of the water, as long as you still have some clean white on both sides of it, then I guess it's covering the whole area that water's passing through. So I guess it's not a huge deal, but you know, it's like I've talked about before, when you pay $1,000 for a sump, you expect it to work perfectly. So anyway, that's just kind of my 2 cents on that. BRS does have the filter media or rolls back in stock. I went ahead and ordered 6 of them, just so I have plenty on hand. And I guess in a couple of months I might try to just go ahead and order some more. I just worry about them going back to a shortage again. I don't want to get to a point, you know, this thing would be useless if I didn't have them or had to do without. I guess, I don't know, I guess I'd have to rig up like a filter sock on the emergency overflow line, drain line there, and then shut off the one gate valve and block off the other one. I don't know. I don't know what I'd do if I just ran out of the filter material. I guess I could look to see if any other companies make one that's the same size as this one. I think it's like, is it 10-inch or something like that, I believe. I can measure it and see exactly what the dimensions are to it, and see if I could find something else compatible, but that'd be a headache at the same time. Which, you know, to that respect, I may do anyway, just because I think these deals are like $24.99, $25 a roll, which can add up and be pretty expensive. So there's probably some other companies out there that maybe that might make one that's cheaper that would fit. So maybe something I'll look into anyway. The other thing someone was asking about is the level that I set this float at. So let's look at this, and you can see the water level inside this chamber versus the water level in the sump. So I think, you know, you can adjust this however you want. And if I raise this up, it can go up a little bit higher. Then it just builds up more water in here and kind of forces more time, I guess, to use the filter roll. So I guess basically it would make it last longer the higher you adjust that. The lower you adjust that, the more often it's going to turn. And like I had it set a little bit lower at one point, and then the water level, you know, being lower was even with the sump. But my actual filter roller material here wasn't as dark, so I kind of felt like in one sense I might be wasting it a little bit, so I went ahead and did bump it up. And for the person that asked me about when, you know, this was initially set up, as far as the height, one person mentioned that they set it up on a new tank and set it an inch above the water level or whatever, and it hadn't been turning at all. Well, I mean, until you get something to cause, not, I don't want to say like back pressure, but until something is building up, a material's building up on the filter material itself, water's just going to flow through it freely, and it's not going to, you know, hit the float and cause it to turn. So, I mean, that's the whole principle of the way this thing works. It only turns the filter material when it needs to, when it's getting clogged up. So as this gets clogged up, less water can move through it, which causes the water level to raise, which causes it to trigger the float switch. So anyway, a little basic engineering for y'all as well. Yeah, I guess that's about it. And like I said too, you can see all the stuff up under there. I mean, a lot of gunk and debris and whatever else is still getting by this. I really don't see where or how. The only thing I can figure is if you see across the other side there where the water's coming in and flowing, if you see on that side, you can see it kind of pushing and lifting that little side piece of the filter paper. And I wonder if it's just getting up under there. So I almost feel like design-wise that they need to add another roller maybe in the middle of the bottom there to keep that pushed down and flush. Either that or add kind of like they have these plastic, these acrylic pieces here to hold the paper. Maybe they needed something just across the middle of the bottom to hold it. So I think that maybe, you know, has a lot to do with the amount of flow. Maybe I could turn my return pump down more and reduce the flow, and I might not, you know, get so much escaping or getting by the filter material. But anyway, that's what I'm getting now. Otherwise, I mean, I've always been a fan of triggers. I've had them for a number of years. I like it other than that. So no other complaints or issues. Let me know if you have any further questions. I'm always glad to answer them the best that I can. I might not always have the right answer because I'm not an expert in any of these matters, but I just try to answer truthfully and honestly, you know, by my experience. So anyway, that'll wrap up this video. Thanks for watching. Please hit the like or thumbs up button there. That really helps the algorithms for YouTube to get the video out. The more popularity a video has by those, the more they kind of push it out. So I appreciate that, of course. And thanks again for watching.